Getting the notes together, getting the notes together, getting the notes together. How y'all doing? I've been waiting to drop this. It's a Saturday special. And I'm sorry to do this because I normally don't like to do negative countdowns. I normally do worst to firsts or throw, you know what I'm saying, flowers to a franchise. I just recently uploaded a Leprechaun one rankings list the other day. But today, y'all done heard me do my shots when I take them. Today is the worst of the worst. 10 horror franchises, top 10 worst of the worst. Now, the criteria for this list is, out of all of these franchises, I done covered them all. I done in-depth analysis of some of these franchise main antagonists. These movies are the worst movie of each franchise. Y'all heard me say it. Every franchise do a bad one. Maybe even two, depending on how long the franchise is. 20, 30 years, whatever it may be. They all do a bad one. I said it in my humble opinion. Saw is the only horror franchise that didn't have a bad movie 3 movies in. They damn sure had a few, but the first 3 to me was classics. Now, we finna kick this list off. Number 10. Wrong Turn 2. Now, if y'all seen my top 10 horror franchises of all time, Wrong Turn cracked the top 10 because I like the franchise. Like I said, I know it's a ripoff of sort of like Cannibal Hills Have Eyes sort of thing, but I'm okay with that because it had its own little spice to it, and it's for millennials who wasn't aware of the original Hills Have Eyes or the Hills Have Eyes remakes. So I was good with it. But 2, I didn't like the reality theme and the soldier man and everything was reality based, like they doing like some kind of Survivor type of thing. I felt like they was trying to capitalize on what the reality shows and Survivor shows was at the time. So it just was too campy for me. It had some sick little kills, but I like the gory where it's just like y'all on a home base situation, not like how this was set up. Moving on. Number 9. Basically I ain't gotta say this because every movie on this list crack my top 10 horror list, except one shocking surprise. But number 9 to me is Scream 4. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm not gonna do synopsis or cast or nothing. I'm just gonna tell you why I place them this compared to their franchise, relatively, I should say. Scream 1 came out of nowhere. It was the meta horror movie where it laughed at itself and turned horror on its head. Iconic, classic. Part 2, bigger money, bigger budget, bigger fan base, everybody ready for it. It wasn't as good, but it was okay. 3 was the make or break. If y'all either gonna keep us here, or we just gonna be abandon y'all from here on out. And that's where I was. So when 4 came out, it was like, what are we doing? I don't even give a fuck about Sydney. Can we kill her to make something new? So 4 was just trash to me. I don't even remember the plot compared to the first 3. Moving on. Number 8. This was a recent upload I did. And this also was last on that particular list. And it's Lep in the Hood, Leprechaun 4. Leprechaun Goes to Space. This movie, they didn't even refer to him as Leprechaun in it. And it just wasn't good. The kills never like super, creative or dramatic. But the space aspect was like, what are we doing? The first 3 was cool. They was decent. And the third one was my favorite. Check that list out. Top 8 movies of Leprechaun. But the third one was great. I'm like, y'all could have picked up with that same cast and theme and made him chase them across country or whatever instead of going to damn space. So that's why this made the list, because I just didn't like it. Because Leprechaun, is a low budget, underrated. Nobody care about it except for its small cult classic fan base. So the first 3 was cool. Y'all didn't have to go to space this or that. Space is for like the 5th, 6th, 7th movie. Like y'all 4 in, y'all still should be, churning them out. Excuse me again. Moving on. Yep. Number 7 on the list. This is a double dip right here. And it's Friday the 13th, part 2. After one, like I said, I've never been a big Jason Voorhees guy. I like the kills, I like the menacing, and I like Kane Hodder. All the other actors who played Jason too, old or young, they did good jobs too. I like the character Jason. I just don't like I even like the setting with Camp Crystal Lake. I just wonder if this is Camp Crystal Lake, why is it always teenager counselors there fucking? Where's the kids at? I never liked that aspect. It's only 1 or 2 movies that actually had kids there. Y'all counselors. The franchise was based upon being counselors who neglected Jason, which got him drowned and bullied by other kids. Now it's just y'all come here basically to get trained, and that's how they make it. Like the kids never arrive. But in canon, the kids never was gonna arrive. So that aspect I can get past. I like the Camp Crystal Lake and the Jason aspect. But part 2, particularly why I didn't like it, is it was like, where y'all going from here? Y'all ain't got a Michael Myers on film or a horror icon. The one was the killer was the mother, Pamela Voorhees. 2 is where they was kind of confused. Is we gonna make him supernatural? Is we gonna make him a human? The boy who survived the drowning, he never died. Like they was kind of confused with it. And then he had the bag on his head. It just wasn't. It wasn't it for me. When he came with the mask, it was like, now that's Jason. But to satisfy people, because I told y'all I don't have an affinity for Jason. So people favorite movies or best technical aspects or best camera rolls or best scenes or whatever, directors, writers, y'all might have your own definition of what's worst to first compared to what I said. Like my favorites is Jason Goes to Hell and Jason Takes Manhattan, which is panned by the critics, lowest budget, lowest ranking in the box office, all that. I get all that, but I like them, and I told y'all why in my Jason video. I'm putting this as a double dip for number 7, Manhattan, because strictly on the strength, 99% of the population think this is the worst of the franchise, and I think it's the best. So there you go. Satisfied? Fuck off. Number 6. I gotta get a smoke break for this, because this hurt my heart to do it. Saw 5. I told y'all this franchise it came in at 3 on my top 10 horrors. I had Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre as number 2, and Freddy 1. This was 3 because of the flashbacks within flashbacks. I felt like John was a little too smart, and he had plot armor like he was the good guy. But in Saw 5, it's like we got 3 classics, 4 was up, nah. And 5 was even worse, and I told y'all why in my Saw rankings. Strom and Hoffman and fucking Geo Tuck. Excuse me. Those 3 are in the movie, the whole movie, which kills it for me. The traps, they okay. They middle with a pack. I ain't got a problem with them. The people stupid, because they could have worked together and got out of the trap and never had to blade their hands off. I don't care about none of that part. All the victims of these traps sometimes stupid or evil or in a way kind of deserve it. The movie just boring to me. Why people might say it could have been 4 in this list if you know the Saw franchise. That's true. But 4 was like a mystery. After the first 3 in Jigsaw Death, you like, what the fuck is next? Is it going to be a prequel? Is it going to be like you had expectations? You felt like it could end, like I said already. You felt it can end and you good with it. But when they announced right away for it coming out, now your Saw fandom start churning like what they gonna do. After 4, they did what they did. It started to get stale. Like, now I really don't care. They finding a way to keep John in the movies, John Kramer, which is Tobin Bell, but still, it started to get redundant. And then 5 was like, what are we doing? I just didn't like 5. And I'm spending too much time on it for a middle of a pack movie. Moving on. Number 5, actually on the list. I need another smoke break, because this hurt my heart again. Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. I told y'all in my Candyman rankings list, it's 4 movies to this franchise. The first one don't count. That's classic, iconic. Tony T is what I call him. Virginia Madsen, the whole class, Clyde Barker, everybody, we get it. 2 is actually my second favorite of the franchise. 3 just, it's like it turned its back on me, like a betrayal, like it flipped. Like, what are we doing? The B CGI looked bad. The Day of the Dead theme, I ain't finna get all into what I said about that during that movie franchise, because I said it. Check that out. Top 4 movies of Candyman. So I'm not gonna overlap of what I said. But this movie, I didn't like the main protagonist. Tony Todd, I love him, but he was like C-level compared to his A-level acting ability. You know what I'm saying? Like how he is in the Final Destination movies, how he is in the first 2. It's like he really trying to do something. And this is like, you know who the fuck I am. I'm Candyman. And it didn't hit. The bimbo Baywatch blonde bitch with the big breasts. That's a lot of B's right there. That's kind of tight. I ain't trying that on purpose either. Anyways, that bitch. I didn't like her. I was feeling like if she died, it wouldn't matter to me. And it's just a bad movie. It's not scary. It don't got the same music. It don't got the same feel. It's embarrassing, to be honest. Moving on. I don't want to even kill it no more than I already did. Number 4, Child's Play 3. And I told y'all in my list of Child's Play movies, I like all of these movies. I can watch them all. It ain't got to be Halloween or Marathon Month. I can pop them in, watch them, enjoy them for what they are. It was debatable for me, 3 and Seed. And I'm going to tell you why. Seed is only bad because how my favorite is 2 and 4. Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky was so good to me. I thought they having a baby involved in this, that could be a triple threat. Like this shit finna be good. And it was just not. But it didn't make the list. I understood what it was, but 3 was just worser to me. For one, Andy wasn't in it. He was an older version of the real character that played Andy Barkley. I'm sorry, I said I ain't finna do research. I did it already. Y'all know who the real Andy Barkley is in real life, that character. He been playing the role 30 years. Anyways, it was an older version of him, the military shit. Like I said, no slight to the movie. It's just weak as fuck compared to 1 and 2. And I just didn't like the Tyler kid. It just didn't do it for me. Like, Chucky is Chucky. You can't go wrong with Chucky. But the movie as a whole, it just didn't do it for me. And they also came out with 3, like, years later. Like, 1 and 2 was, like, not far apart. 3 took a break, and they needed it. But, whatever. Moving on. Number 3. Halloween 3. Season of the Witch. If you want to know about how I felt about Season of the Witch, go to my Michael Myers ranking, worst to first than that. Because I got in depth on how I felt about Season of the Witch. It's not a bad movie again. Like all these movies on this list, part of these franchises, I don't hate none of them, like, except for one. And when I get to that, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to fucking rant on that one. But all these movies up until this point I done mentioned, I don't like them compared to their particular franchise. That's why they the worst of their franchise. But I like them as they alright. And that's the same with Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch might be the most polished out of this entire list, even though it's 3. No, so it's a good movie. It's just not Michael Myers. If you tell me we finna just watch some kind of Halloween spooky tale, and we watch this, I'm gonna be like, God damn, that shit was creepy as fuck. But if you say, Zach, we finna watch Halloween, my mind thinking instantly Michael Myers, and then you put this shit on, now I'm pissed. What the fuck are you doing? This ain't Michael Myers. And that's where the rage, you see how I just got excited like that? I talk and then I get louder without even trying. And that's how certain topics do it. Certain things do it. My chick could be talking, we could be talking, I'm all calm. Then 5 minutes later, I'm fucking yelling and she get pissed. It's just how I am. I can't calm it down. It's just how I talk. And that's what this movie do. It incites a fucking riot because Michael Myers not in it. Other than that, ain't nothing wrong with this movie. Moving on. Number 2, y'all should have kind of figured out somewhere like his number 1 movie of all time franchise is Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street. So where's that? And here it is. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Not from the homophobic shit, not from all the gay shit, the gay bars, the killing, smacking ass. I didn't like that. I ain't gonna make it like, oh, I'm trying to protect myself so I don't get canceled from the gay people. Fuck them. I don't care about that. I didn't like the movie because it's not Freddy Krueger. Like the last number 3 wasn't Michael Myers. Freddy Krueger don't come to pool parties and slash everybody. He don't possess bodies. He didn't even get no kills in this movie. He got the little gay boy doing all his bidding, the Scream Queen, Mark Hamill. I think not Mark Hamill. That's the Star Wars guy. Anyway, whatever his name. Go look at my Freddy list and you will see his real name. I don't care about the gay aspects of this movie. It's just not my version of Freddy Krueger. They tried to softly reboot the franchise, and it just didn't work. I told y'all, these son of a bitches cast a stunt double in certain scenes of this movie over Robert Englund till they realized the mannerisms and all that stuff that he brings to the table is not the same with a stunt guy. This movie is better than a lot of these movies on this list. I'm going to be honest. It's still kind of scary. It's a good movie. But for Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, this also was another debatable between this and 6. But I like 6 more. So that's why this one made it at the number 2 spot. Because Freddy I hold in high esteem. He is the GOAT. The highest level. I don't care if a movie's scary or whatever. Nightmare on Elm Street is the greatest franchise of all time to me in horror. Might not be my favorite, but it is my favorite. But you know what I'm saying. He's the guy, and he wasn't immune to a bad one. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, taking the number 2 spot. Number 1, another smoke break. Because some of these movies on this franchise are some of my most endeared franchises. But I gotta do it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. And this ain't finna be funny. This ain't finna be no jokes or nothing to try to make somebody laugh. Because this hurt my heart. I told y'all when I did my top 10 horror franchise, this took the number 2 spot over Saw. I love Saw. But Saw came to me easily. I got an affinity for Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise because it was hard finding these DVDs. This wasn't the streaming era, the Fire Stick era, HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, which I got all of them accesses, but this wasn't that era where you could just play it for free or Fire Stick it or pay a little fee and watch it. You had to go out and find these DVDs. And they ain't something famous like a famous New Jack City or know what I'm saying, Scarface remaster. They not Godfather remaster where it's going to be easy access in Walmart, Blockbuster, Target to find them. You got to dig deep. Like dark web deep. Like, it was hard finding these movies. And like I said before, some of these fucking movies are hard watches. If you know you're looking for a cannibalistic, chainsaw-wielding family that kill teenagers and chop them up and eat them, that's what you're here for. Don't expect some mythology shit. Don't expect some, smart characters thinking or likable characters. Some of the protagonists are likable, but you know what I'm saying. Stupid decisions make you not like a character. But this shit took all of that shit to a level of infinity and beyond. Like, when you think about Next Generation with McConaughey and Zellweger, Leatherface a fucking queer bitch. You know what I'm saying? He's soft. He a pussy. You not scared of him. He screaming. He wearing drag. But it's kind of funny how McConaughey is the batshit crazy one. He getting all the kills. And Leatherface is like his little dog, which he always is. He just the least intimidated version. But I ain't gonna lie, that movie trash as fuck. But I'll still like it more than this one. Because it's still kind of true to what the franchise is. Kim Hinkle still has something to do with it, which he has something to do with the first one. So I don't know why he made Leatherface so gay and bitchy. But I give him a pass for that. Because the movie's still so bad, it's good, funny, enjoyable. This shit don't make no fucking sense, Texas 3D. Because this also was a debatable between them two movies. But this timeline where the little baby was back in the original timeline of one, Andrea Daddario, and now she 25, supposed to be 45. They make it, the producer said on the director's cut, we hope the fans just brush past that and didn't care. Motherfucker, we care. We know timelines. We know age. It didn't make no sense. Y'all wanted a nostalgia feel for something that didn't make sense. Y'all could have easily made her adopted grandchild or something that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Anything that made sense. Besides her being a baby in the 70s and in 2014 she 20. Like, make up your motherfucking mind. And then they got the Saw cameo because they thought Saw was going out and this supposed to be a new carry of the franchise. And it didn't work. I said this before also. My woman loved Trey Songz. Little sexy, pretty motherfucking singing motherfucker. I can't help but wait. That's why you never got another acting job a day in your life. Stick to singing. He was such a dumbass pretty boy because he's in the top of his prime at the end as a singer. They cast him just for that. He making dumb decisions. They say the black guy supposed to be smart. He dumber than the white people. Like, woosah. I told y'all with this movie. I don't care how bad 4 is or how people feel about 3. I love 3 in the franchise. I know this franchise more than any motherfucker on YouTube or the internet besides the motherfuckers who played in the movie and acted in them. I know this franchise top to bottom like the back of my hand, maybe even better. If you say what's on the back of your hand, I might not know every line perfectly, but I know this movie and all these movies are like the back of my hand. And I'm telling you from a fan. This is the worst. Worst. You can debate 4, maybe. Some people who don't care about the franchise or like it or love it like me may have their own worst. You could say the road trip where it's like the prequel, not the beginning version where they show how he was birthed and was thrown away. I'm talking about the road trip where it was fooling you who is Leatherface. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that one. It's a few, like I said, it's hard watches. But this one right here will fucking make you turn it off. A hard watch still mean you watched it. I said it. You might have to smoke, have a shot, a drinking game. Watch it with your bitch. Watch it with your boys. Laugh, smoke, talk over the movie. But you still watching it. This bullshit Texas 3D, you turning this shit off. I'm telling you. Quick. And unlike the other ones that was hard to find, like I said, Generation and 3, I gotta go through all these, you know what I'm saying, Grand Avenue Mall, every store, Best Buy, East Side, West Side, South Side. I'm hunting these motherfucking movies down. You had easy access, because this is like 2014 in the easy access era. I never gave a fuck about hunting this down. I hate this movie. I mean, every one of these movies on this list are bad for their franchise. This movie bad for its franchise and as a movie as a whole. I watched Wrong Turn 2, which was 10 on this list, and enjoy that way more, because it's 10, obviously. Leprechaun ain't even been big in my franchises and talked about. I only brought him up recently. I watched that franchise space every damn day over Texas 3D. I couldn't stand this movie. When I heard about they get bringing all the people back from part one, they rebuilt the house. I'm like, they give a fuck. They care deeply about the franchise. They finna rejuvenate it. Because Michael Bay and them had the remake, and that shit was excellent. I just thought they should have never cut his arm off and made it a prequel in the beginning. They should have just kept his arm and just kept that formula going till we got tired of it. Don't break what's... I mean, you don't need to fix something that ain't broken. How'd it go? Don't fix it if it ain't broke. Whatever, you know the quote. But 3D just said, fuck everything. We finna fool y'all. This movie, it's bad, buddy. And I'm out. ZZ the King. Worst of the worst. I told y'all when I was around 4-5, when I get to the number one, it's the only movie in the franchise of this category that I hate. Every other movie might be bad for its franchise, bad as a movie, but I can accept them and I can like them for what they are. This movie is one of my endeared franchise movies, but it is so bad, it ain't good. It's distasteful. I'm gone. I ain't finna try to keep dragging it out. That's it. Worst of the worst. Texas fucking Chainsaw Massacre 3D. And I'm out.